Hello fellow cine enthusiasts, my name is Christina and welcome to another Let's Get Reel's movie review. Today is Classic Movie Thursdays, my version of Throwback Thursdays, and this is a continuation of Noirvember, the celebration of film noir. Today's movie is one of my quintessential and probably considered one of the quintessential film noir movies. It begins with two killers in a small town in New Jersey looking for this guy named Peter Lund, whose real name is Ole Anderson, and he goes by the name the Swede. They're looking for him for some reason. It's not really given, but they want to know where he is. They had planned on killing him when he came into the diner in town, but he never came in because he usually came in at a specific time. The killers eventually track Ole down to a room somewhere and they kill him. Turns out Ole had a life insurance policy for, I believe, like $20,000, and he left it all to a maid of the place where he had been staying because, as she puts it, he had tried to kill himself and she saved him from jumping out the window. So the insurance investigator, Reardon, played by Edmund O'Brien, he starts investigating Ole's story and he finds that Ole used to be a boxer and his career ended because he hurt his hand in a fight, and then he met this girl named Kitty Collins, played by Ava Gardner, and he just turned to a life of crime because he couldn't fight anymore. And he did turn to this life of crime mostly because of Kitty Collins. She was the Femme Fatale. And because of Ole's infatuation with Kitty Collins, it ultimately leads to the reason why he had been killed. The Killers was the first leading role and first movie for Burt Lancaster. He gets first billing, and according to Robert Sadomak, who was the director, he really liked Burt Lancaster, who was an acrobat from New Jersey, and his acting in this for his first movie is pretty darn good. I mean, he fit the part of an ex-boxer really well, and at the beginning, his first scene is just, it's so moody, it's so dark, and he excellently played that off. He didn't overplay it, he didn't underplay it, it was just great. It was best scene I think anybody could have hoped for if they were an actor for their first scene in a big film. This was also Ava Gardner's first leading movie, first really big movie. MGM didn't really know what to do with her for a long time because their big problem was that she was too pretty to have such a problem. They didn't know what to do with her, so they threw her to Universal, and the movie became a really big hit, and it really launched her career as well. To me, Ava Gardner is the ultimate femme fatale, along with Gene Tierney. They were just so gorgeous, and when I think of femme fatale, I think of someone who is absolutely beautiful and just has that way about them. They don't need to be wearing seductive clothing like you would think today they would have to. It's all in their face. Like, Ava Gardner was such a gorgeous, beautiful, stunning woman, and so was Gene Tierney. It's in the way they carried themselves and the attitude that they had, and Ava Gardner definitely carries herself very well in this film, and she had an attitude. There was one scene where a guy goes after her and she goes, "Touch me and you won't live to see morning," and I mean, that face and the way she said it was just perfect. That is like one of the ultimate scenes for a femme fatale, in my opinion. If you think the same thing, or if you have any opinions on Ava Gardner in this movie, please leave them down below, or check my socials and reach me that way. Now, I love Ava Gardner as an actress. There were certain movies that she was good in, certain movies she was okay. She was never really a great actress, but she did have her moments where she was quite excellent. And I believe her finest performance in her career, in the films that I have seen her in so far, is in The Killers. As a guy that she was running around with besides Ole, and he had another reason that led to Ole's death. The guy is dying and she's telling him, say Kitty is innocent, say Kitty is innocent. And the way Ava played that scene was just, it was so fantastic. I hadn't seen this movie in a really long time, and I just rewatched it so I can review it. And I was stunned. Like, I didn't remember how excellent Ava Gardner was in that scene. She was just so brilliant. It was like all the emotion comes to her face. You would never think that, you know, this was like her first time leading a movie and in a big picture. She was great. I guess all the acting lessons MGM had been giving her were paying off for Universal instead of them. My favorite scene in this film comes when Ole is released from jail and he immediately goes to this guy, Big Jim Colfax, and who is putting together a heist. He wants to rob a place. And Kitty is there. He walks in. He doesn't really say anything that he knows Kitty. He just walks in, sees her, and kind of stops dead, and she just stares at him. When Big Jim is discussing the heist and what's going to happen, Swede sits down at the edge of the bed and Kitty is on the bed. Now she's looking at him all kinds of seductive, like such a big tease. She's laying across the bed and everything, and he pulls out this handkerchief that she had given to him with a harp and some four-leaf clovers on it, as if to say, like, I've had you on my mind. And it was kind of a tease too. They were kind of like going back and forth, teasing each other, and she's a little shocked to see that he still has that, because she, I think in a way she's like, oh crap, this guy is like so not over me, but at the same time she's like, I can play him pretty darn well. As I said, The Killers is one of my all-time favorite noir films and just one of my all-time favorite movies in general. It is based off the Ernest Hemingway short story called The Killers, and Hemingway's story ends right where the killers in the movie go to Ole. You never find out what Ole did, why they want him, it just stops there. So I think what makes this movie so interesting is that it was a continuation from Hemingway's story, and this was the only movie of Hemingway's stories that he himself actually liked. And with good reason. I mean, it's just such a well-made movie all around. The light and the shadows, the cinematography is just fantastic. The acting by all the actors, not just Burt Lancaster and Ava Gardner, is like so top-notch. You really can't go wrong with this movie. It's like one of those perfect, well-made, well-written stories anybody who likes movies should see. If you like to study film noir, absolutely go and watch this movie whenever you can, if you haven't seen it already. If you liked my review of The Killers in any way, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below so we can further discuss this movie and all film noirs, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for future classic movies and other movie reviews. As always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.